Well, hello there, my gaming people. This is your host v19 here, and today I'm going to talk about a really special game, actually, because it just happens to be one of the very best survival horror games ever made, in my opinion. Yes, I'm talking about Resident Evil Remake for the GameCube. And some Resident Evil fans will probably hate me now, but I still think and believe that Resident Evil Remake are the very best Resident Evil game to date. And even though the game was released back in 2002, Resident Evil Remake still owns, well, pretty much every single horror game on the market even today. And keep in mind that Resident Evil Remake are over 12 years old today, but even so, the game still looks and feels fucking great. At least I think so. And if you ever wonder if I have played the Resident Evil Archives game, then the answer would be yes. But I still find the GameCube version to be the superior game. Because, well, if you have played the Resident Evil Archives game, then you know that it adds pretty much nothing new to the table at all. Well, so what makes Resident Evil Remake such a freaking great game then? Well, there's a handful of things really. For starter, the whole Resident Evil mansion, well, it looks creepier than ever before. I mean, the very first Resident Evil game scared the living shit out of me when I was a kid. And the Resident Evil Remake version of the mansion are even creepier. And then you also get the music that's scarier than the original soundtrack, so I think. And there's a whole lot of those scary jump out of your chair kind of moments in the game as well. So it really adds to the scare or horror factor, so to speak. So and of course you got the Crimson Head zombies going down. They are basically super deadly and fast zombies. And the thing is this, any normal zombie can be turned into a Crimson Head at any time. And that's the scary thing, because when you kill a zombie in Resident Evil Remake, you know, the normal, average kind of zombie, unless you blow off their heads, I should add, you have to set them on fire when you have killed them. Because if you don't, then there's a very big risk that they, that you will have a lot of Crimson Heads running around the mansion very soon. Because that's the thing, if you don't blow their heads off, or if you don't set them on fire, then they will get turned into Crimson Heads. And I still remember my very first encounter with the Crimson Head in Resident Evil Remake. It was in a hallway somewhere in the mansion. I don't remember exactly where, but I remember the whole scene. And it was super quiet. I saw nothing from my camera angle. So I thought that everything was cool, because, you know, it was silent as the night and nothing happened. No footsteps or anything. Well, I was wrong, dead wrong, because as soon as I started to walk down the hallway, a Crimson Head jumped out of nowhere. Almost like it, the zombie has been teleported there or something like that. But luckily enough, I managed to blow his head off with my shotgun. It was pretty much my Super Ninja Jedi reflexes that saved my ass. Anyhow, Resident Evil Remake are full of scenes like that one, the one I described, I mean. And there's this whole setting with the mansion as well. I mean, it was very, I was very cocky and all that when I sat down with Resident Evil Remake the very first time, and that was back in 2003 or something like that, because I have played a lot of the original Resident Evil, so I thought oh, this is gonna be a walk in the park kind of thing, but no, pretty much everything are changed in Resident Evil Remake. I mean, some rooms are gone and some new rooms has been added to the game, and enemies are not standing on the same old spots anymore, so it's like everything's, and I mean it's supposed to be a remake, but in a way it's kind of more than a remake, because I thought it was it's just gonna be new graphics and all that, and it's it's pretty much the same, you know, but nope, that was not the case. And the enemies are also very different from the original game. I mean, not just the looks, or that they are also smarter, I have to say, and of course deadlier as well. And you can never really feel safe either, because there's this point in the game where hunters will be lurking all over the place looking for your sorry ass. So there's no safe zone pretty much, because I don't think they can come into the safe room like in Resident Evil 3, but I do remember that there's like you go to the safe room at some point of the game, and nothing happens when you go to the safe room, but as soon as you get out of the safe room, I think it's like a crimson head or something. I think it's a video sequence even. Then some, I don't know if it was a hunter or a crimson head, but the monster that's out for you doesn't come at once, and you don't know where it will show up. So all those rooms that you have like killed everything in, you don't know where will it show up. And I remember this scene. There's a room in Resident Evil Remake where there's a big mirror, like all over the wall, a really big mirror kind of thing. And there's I think it's like 2 or 3 green plants in that room, and some kind of wardrobe, I think, which cannot be open at that early stage of the game. But nothing's there, no zombie or whatever. But then when you come back from I think it's the pool house, I think. Then there's 2 things that can happen, if I'm not wrong. You can either get attacked by a zombie, or a hunter will kick up the door and hunt you down. So there's so many things that can happen in Resident Evil Remake. And I mean, even though I have played, I mean, now it's been years since I played it, but I still remember. I mean, even still that I remember a lot of things, it's still very scary to play, because there's things that you do that will trigger different kind of things. Like, I think there's some scene where there's dogs that can come inside the house if you don't kill them outside first. I think they jump through the window in some kind of library area or something like that, and the whole game are full of things like that. I mean, sure, this is like small aspects of the game, but it still adds up to the horror factor, if you know what I mean. So I'm pretty 100% sure, at least in my opinion, that Resident Evil Remake are not only the best Resident Evil game to date, but it's also one of the very best survival horror games ever made. So I hopefully gonna play it again soon. In fact, I have this thought now that I got the Elgato recording equipment fixed, that I perhaps could start to record some Resident Evil footage. And I think that I'm gonna start with the Resident Evil Remake, actually, because I have had this great urge to start playing it again, because it's, oh Christ, I think it's at least 6 years since the last time I played it, and I have actually never recorded anything from Resident Evil Remake at any time in my life, I mean. And it feels like it's about time that I do so. And hopefully it will get more people to know about it, because the sad fact is this: even though Resident Evil Remake are a really great game, it sold really bad. I don't know about the Wii U version, I mean the Wii version, if that sold bad as well, because I think the GameCube version sold like 1.3 million copies, and it was labeled as a failure. and I don't honestly understand how it could sell so bad, but I think it's also, of course, a matter of fact that not so many people perhaps owned a GameCube. If you want to know the truth, I actually bought the GameCube only to be able to play Resident Evil Remake back in the days. So that's probably one of those rare cases when I bought a console solely for being able to play one game. But it was worth the cash, I have to say, because I spent like, let me see now, at least one summer, and of course, well, holidays playing it. So I think it was worth the money. Even if I just have owned the Resident Evil Remake in a GameCube and nothing else, I think it would have been worth the money anyhow. And of course there's like different endings in the game as well. I don't remember how many endings there are, but there's a handful of different endings in the Resident Evil Remake. Then there's like hidden items. I think that you should be able to get like a rocket launcher with unlimited ammunition, you know, that big rocket launcher that you kill the big boss at the end of the game. The Nemesis, I mean. I think that's his name. No, that's not Nemesis. He's called something else. I'm freezed in my head right now. That's Nemesis is not his name. It's called something else. I know how the bastard looks, but I can't remember the name right now. Anyhow, then you're supposed to get a big magnum, I think. But all that stuff you will only get unlocked if you finish the game in a certain time, and I don't think you can't save at any like point in the game to be able to get those things. And then I think there's like a secret character. I could be wrong, but I think you also will be able to play as Barry. There's so many stuff, like secret stuff that you can unlock, so I've forgotten most of them, but I know it's true that you can get the rocket launcher and the magnum, and there's also clothes that you can unlock. So I haven't, some of those things I have unlocked, but I haven't like explored or unlocked everything, so that's gonna be a interesting thing for me, like challenge to do, you know. But there's a whole lot of stuff to experience. And I mean, speaking of Resident Evil, I mean, I stopped care about Resident Evil series after Resident Evil 4. I mean, Resident Evil 5, sure, it's not like super crappy game, but it's not great. And Resident Evil 6 are just pure fucking garbage, in my opinion. So if you haven't played Resident Evil Remake, then it's about time you do. So that will be everything about this topic. So feel free to subscribe and comment in the comment box, and just take care, people. This is v19 signing out. Bye bye.